What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Arman claims that the UFC's original plan for early 2026 was to book Ilya against Paddy in January. According to him, this matchup was already being discussed behind the scenes, long before anything became public. But with Ilya now out for the entire first quarter of 2026 due to personal issues, the UFC had to shift gears, and instead, Paddy is stepping in to fight Justin Gaethje for the interim lightweight title. Arman said he already knew Paddy was going to fight Ilya in January, but what he didn't expect was the UFC turning the situation into an interim title fight between Paddy and Gaethje. He insisted that the promotion had been trying to set up Ilya versus Paddy for a while, and in his mind, even if he had knocked Paddy out in their fight, he didn't believe it would have changed anything. He said the UFC had already prepared everything behind the scenes, and he feels the new narrative about Ilya's personal issues doesn't fully explain the timing. According to Arman, this is simply part of the UFC's broader game plan. He believes the UFC wants to build Paddy into a bigger star and push him into a massive title fight with Ilya, who already has a more established name. Arman said the UFC wants to create a huge matchup, something they can promote on the same level of Khabib versus Conor, a rivalry storyline that could generate major attention and pay-per-view numbers. But from Arman's perspective, even if Paddy wins an interim belt, the UFC knows he can beat everyone in the division, and that's why they aren't giving him the title fight he believes he deserves. He didn't hold back when talking about the competition either. Arman said Paddy is easy work for him. Ilya, also easy work. The only real challenge he saw was Islam, but Islam has already left the division behind. With Islam gone, Arman said there is nobody in the lightweight division right now who is on his level. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, Max Holloway isn't entirely sure if he even wants to fight on the White House card. His next fight hasn't been officially announced, but there have been strong rumors that he'll defend the BMF belt against Charles Oliveira at UFC 324. When asked about the situation, Max said that they'll have to see what happens with the Conor situation and with John coming back. He thinks the card idea itself is cool, but he pointed out something interesting. He said there's no American champion on the card except for the BMF title, and since he holds that belt, he joked that if they're looking for an American champion, he's the man, even though he likes his odds of being placed on the card. Max admitted he's not completely sure he wants to be on it. The main reason is the setup. He heard the live crowd will only include around 5,000 people on the White House lawn, while across the street there will be massive screens with roughly 80,000 fans watching from a separate area. He said that's cool in its own way, but having only 5,000 seats available makes it difficult for fighters to bring their families close to the action. Max explained that not having his family there would genuinely take away from the moment. Throughout his career, he has worked his way to the top of the UFC while keeping his family close, supporting him ringside at almost every major fight. He said he's used to looking over and seeing them right there, feeling that energy, and sharing those big moments with the people who matter most. The idea of fighting on such a historic card without being able to bring his family into the main seating area doesn't sit well with him. He said it kind of sucks to think that after everything he has accomplished, they might not be able to be right there with him. Moving on to another news, Merab talked about whether he plans to eventually move up to the featherweight division. He said that when the time is right, he'll go without any problem. But right now, he's fully focused on his own weight class. He explained that he has a fight with Pereira coming up, and after that, he wants to fight again in March. Whoever is ready for March, he's willing to face them. He added that he hopes to get the White House fight, and once that situation is clear, he'll look at how the 145 division is shaping up. Merab made it clear that if the UFC asks him to move up, he'll do it. But he's also mentioned many times that he has a huge amount of respect for Alexander Volkanovski. He said Volkanovski is tough, a big challenge, and someone he respects not just as a fighter but as a person and as a father. Because of that, he isn't in a hurry to start talking too much about moving up or calling anyone out at featherweight. For now, his full focus is on his current weight class and the business in front of him. He said this is a fight business, and right now he doesn't want to get ahead of himself. In another update, Merab was seen sniffing pizza ahead of his rematch with Pereira. While cutting weight, he posted a video on his Instagram story where he sat with a plate of lettuce and cucumbers while holding a box of pizza close to his face. He joked that weight cutting was going well and showed his dinner for tonight, laughing about how he was teasing himself with the smell of the pizza. In the clip, he kept smelling the box and saying, so good, while picking at his vegetables. It was a moment that fans found hilarious, showing his discipline, but also how tough and tempting the weight-cutting process can be, especially heading into a high-stakes rematch this weekend. Moving on to another news. Alexandre Pantoja, ahead of his flyweight title defense against Joshua Van this weekend, was asked about the idea of moving up to bantamweight for a potential super fight with Merab. He didn't seem very enthusiastic about it. Speaking with TMZ Sports, Pantoja said he believes Merab is one of the best fighters in the world, without question. He noted that Merab is ranked among the top pound-for-pound fighters, maybe number 2 or 3, and that he's a tough opponent for anyone in his division. Pantoja explained that it's not easy to think about going up 10 pounds and imagining you can finish someone like Merab. He said that the jump from flyweight to bantamweight is a massive physical difference, and fans sometimes underestimate how big that gap actually is. He pointed to the fight between Weili Zhang and Valentina Shevchenko as an example of how noticeable size can be when comparing two elite athletes from different divisions. For Pantoja, moving up just to chase a super fight doesn't seem worth it unless everything aligns perfectly, especially when he's already defending his own belt and keeping the flyweight division active. Moving on to another news. TJ Dillashaw recently opened up about why he still chose to fight Aljamain Sterling despite dealing with a serious shoulder injury at the time. Their bantamweight title fight took place in 2022, where TJ lost via TKO in the second round, and many fans questioned why he entered the cage given how compromised his shoulder already was. Now, TJ explained that he pushed through the injury because he genuinely believed he could still win. He said he had dealt with adversity before and managed to overcome it, so this situation didn't feel any different to him. TJ pointed out that he fought through shoulder problems against Cody Garbrandt and still got wins. He fought through knee issues against Corey Sandhagen and also got the job done. To him, pushing through injuries was nothing new. What made him fully commit to stepping in against Sterling was his belief that Sterling was, in his words, a weak champion. He insisted he didn't mean it disrespectfully, but he felt Aljamain had clear holes in his game that TJ was confident he could exploit even while injured. He explained that from his perspective, Sterling wasn't as dangerous as the champions before him, and that played a big role in his decision to still take the fight. TJ admitted he underestimated just how much the injury would affect him once the cage door closed, but at the time, he genuinely believed he could still pull it off. Looking back, he acknowledges the risk, but said his mindset was shaped by years of pushing through adversity and coming out on top. Moving on to another news, it looks like Ronda Rousey may actually be gearing up for a return to combat sports. Over the past few months, she's been posting striking footage on her Instagram, which immediately sparked speculation about whether she was preparing for some kind of comeback. Now that speculation has grown even stronger because, according to boxing journalist Lance Pugmire, Ronda is currently in active negotiations to box two-time undisputed boxing champion Katie Taylor in 2026. Taylor holds an impressive professional record of 25-1 and most recently defeated Amanda Serrano for the third time this past summer. Meanwhile, Ronda hasn't competed since UFC 207 back in 2016, where she was knocked out by Amanda Nunes in just 48 seconds. The MMA community, however, does not believe this potential return is a good idea for Ronda. Many reacted strongly online. Adam Martin said that Ronda has no business being in a boxing ring. Mike Bone called the matchup a crazy proposition and questioned how any commission could license her after she publicly discussed her long concussion history during her book tour. Aaron Bronstetter reacted by saying he never expected something like this to even be on the radar. Fans were even more blunt. One user wrote that Ronda must be looking to get even more CTE and reminded everyone how badly Holly Holm outstruck her years ago, saying that Katie Taylor might actually hurt her far worse. Another fan questioned why the pound-for-pound best woman in boxing would accept what they called a layup against a retired fighter who was never known for striking, pointing out that Katie could punch the head off her. Others said the fight makes absolutely no sense and predicted that Ronda is going to get badly beaten if this matchup happens, even though they admitted they'd still watch. Despite all the backlash, the negotiations appear to be real, and Ronda seems to be training with intention. After nearly a decade away from competition, the idea of her stepping into the boxing ring against one of the most skilled fighters on the planet has created massive buzz, controversy, and concern across the combat sports world. Moving on to another news. Josh Thompson has stirred up the heavyweight conversation by saying he believes the UFC will book Alex Pereira versus Ciryl Gane for an interim heavyweight title in early 2026. With Tom Aspinall announcing that his eye is in bad condition and he'll be out for a long time, the timing suddenly lines up. The division needs movement, and Pereira is the biggest name available. Gane is coming off a no-contest title shot of his own, and with the UFC schedule shifting, this matchup feels more realistic than ever. Thompson pointed out that Paddy versus Justin is already set for late January, which leaves room for one major pay-per-view before that. A Pereira versus Gane interim title fight on that stage would be massive. Two elite, high-level strikers meeting at heavyweight is the kind of fight that blows the roof off an arena. Stylistically, it's one of the toughest reads possible. Gane remains the slickest mover the heavyweight division has ever seen. Extremely light on his feet, brilliant at managing distance, and nearly impossible to trap cleanly. But Pereira brings something no one has ever truly solved: terrifying, fight-ending power with insane precision from both hands. He only needs one clean shot to shut the lights off on anyone in the division. As of now, nothing is confirmed, but fans are buzzing. The heavyweight division feels wide open, and the idea of Pereira stepping up again has lit up social media. Thompson then shifted to why Dana might be taking this particular approach with the first cards under the new Paramount and TV rights deal. He suggested that the UFC may be looking at Paddy as the biggest available draw at the moment. Islam just fought. Khamzat fought recently and is currently injured, and several other top stars aren't ready to return yet. In Thompson's view, Paddy is the strongest option the UFC has to kick off the new era in terms of mainstream attention. He went further, saying he genuinely believes Pereira versus Gane could end up being the very first CBS fight under the new broadcast partnership. In his mind, there are simply too many coincidences stacking up. John recently said that if he's not fighting on the White House card, he'll just move on. Alex and Gane have been seen face-to-face at several events. Tom Aspinall's sudden eye issue and medical updates arrived right as conversations about this matchup began heating up. According to Thompson, all the signs point in the same direction, and he can absolutely see Pereira versus Gane becoming a reality sooner rather than later. Moving on to another news. Ever since Bisping dropped that insider info about Khamzat and his crazy sweet tooth, the MMA world hasn't stopped buzzing. On his YouTube channel, Bisping said people close to Khamzat literally have to monitor him during camp because he'll sneak candy bars even with a massive fight right around the corner. They'd open his drawer and find 20 of them, remind him he has a huge fight in 2 weeks, and Khamzat would just laugh it off. And somehow, even with all that chaos, he still went out there and won UFC gold, going 5 rounds with Duplessis. But that's where the whole debate really started. A lot of fans and analysts pointed out that Khamzat's performance didn't exactly settle the long-term questions about his gas tank. Duplessis spent most of that fight stuck on his back, never forcing Khamzat into a brutal pace that would truly test his conditioning. So people are still wondering if his discipline will hold up now that he's the champion, and every contender in the division is coming after him. When asked about the rumors, Khamzat shrugged everything off and said he doesn't care about gossip, that people will always talk no matter what he does. But now Joe Rogan has weighed in, and his take has added even more fuel to the conversation. On a recent episode of his podcast, Rogan talked about Khamzat's discipline, his wild lifestyle, and whether habits like sneaking sweets, ignoring diets, and brushing off criticism can survive when the pressure of being champion gets heavier every fight. Rogan said Khamzat is such a freak athlete that even being a little more disciplined would take him to another level entirely. He called discipline an art, something beautiful to witness when someone fully commits to maximizing their potential. Rogan compared it to what he sees in people like David Goggins, those who live in the grind and truly embrace the pain and the structure that comes with being elite. Then he pushed back on the idea that people don't care what others think. According to Rogan, most people who say that actually care a lot, and pretending not to care is just a defense mechanism. He said, everyone feels something when people criticize them, praise them, or inspire them, and that human connection matters more than people admit. Rogan explained that other people can be fuel, that surrounding yourself with disciplined, motivated individuals pushes you to level up too. He said that's one of the reasons he loves talking to different people, and why he loves doing the podcast. It feeds his curiosity and keeps him inspired.